Good morning, traders. Welcome to our trading room. I think for my YouTube viewers, this recording will be out for you as the weekly outlook. Again, my warning, whatever we show you here is what we are looking at as trades we would probably be looking for today, tomorrow, in the week. Most of what we show you might change direction or change depending on what structure we have. Some of them, we don't even know the exact trade we're going to have as yet, although we do have perspective of how we're going to look at it and what we're going to do. Now, if this confuses you, go watch some more of my videos. If you think this doesn't work, well, good luck to you, right? Let's start. We're looking at the yen. And if you remember, I was telling you all the yen pairs are at really extreme levels. So I think I've shown this on the daily on YouTube once or twice. If you haven't seen it, go back, watch some of my videos. But what we're looking at is we're at a very extreme level here. If you look at the monthly chart. So when you go to the monthly charts, you're going to see that we are at extreme level. But it's not the first time we're at. This one came from the top. So I'm not talking about this. I'm talking from this point going up, right? This one came all the way from the top. This historically came from the top. So this was the lowest point it has ever been. What we're looking at is this. This was a top. This was a top. This is a top. That's the monthly tops, right? Now, every time you make a top like that, at some point, you're either going to correct and continue to go, or you can reverse. I still don't think we're reversing because we have this move to possibly do, which means I think it could come here and still go back up. Or I think it could come much deeper and still go back up. Right? I still don't think we have finished this one or that we have finished this one before we go back up. So it could even be much more complex than that. It doesn't have to be simple. What I'm showing you is a simple possible monthly pattern. Now, that means that every time you've got an extreme high like that, you're looking for, and you can see the divergence in this piece going up here, right? Every time you got an extreme high like that, you're looking for sell opportunities because they're rare. For you to get a high to break that up, it will take you years sometime. So at this point, that pullback is expected. Now, I don't know if any one of you are in front of a computer, you would have got a trade there if you had an entry. There was a really good setup. If not, we'll wait and see. So let's deal with this piece here. There's still two things to look at. First, this one, and second, this one. Now, based on wave analysis, this one could make a separate flat of its own here. Go back up like this. You see this 1, 2, 3? We could do that, and we could go back up to the top, then come for this one, and then go back up still, and then make it for the bigger drop. That's an option that could happen. We have to analyze it that way. The second thing that could happen is that, well, this is still some kind of a contracting flat. They do exist, rare, but they do exist. In that case, this one is going to go immediately for the big drop and then go back up. Now, in all those situations, remember what I said, is either this, or the big one. Well, we start selling and see which one comes. Go to the daily, this up move here. In this one, we have only this piece, but this is not really sharp. If you look at it, there's a big flat here. So this could be a standalone with a deep pullback inside. You're looking for sharp moves like this. That's what we're looking at, right? So this one is sharp based on what we looked at, right? And this one is sharp. If it's not a contracting flat, then we'll have two pieces. So the first one we want to exclude is this. I'm going to pull an arrow here, and we want to see a possible move. Oh, don't do that. We're looking for a possible move down like this. Now, the whole thing is that it doesn't just go in one move and then start going back up. Well, it wouldn't really make a big difference if it drops in one move. If it drops in one move here and then start going back up, great, we'll buy it. Right? But we're hoping that we can catch at least a piece of this. Right? And then the second one is this one. Should it go much more than this? Should it start to correct here and go much more like that? I would expect it to totally go down because then we're going to put this here as a contracted flat. For now, I think there are going to be two flats forming. So let's go to the 4 hours. On the 4 hours, we're looking for this. So I can pull it a little more like this because it's coming really sharp. It should be about the same size. Yeah, literally like a little more like that. So it should be about the same size. And then we can go up. Now, the hope is that it makes a flag here. So you go to the 1 hour and you said, well, okay, if it makes a flag there, we will sell. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to try to buy it. Now, I don't think you should try to do that because you have no idea what we're going to do, right? Because this would be the first impulse down. At first, it's really amazing that it's breaking this low, right? That is amazing, right? Because when you break that low, what you do is you reverse the last impulse up. And that by itself is a good reversal sign. On a daily or something like that, you'll see a wick or something there, maybe a weekly, you'll see a huge wick there. The wick is useless, right? We're just showing you how the reversal works. What we want to see is a correction back to the top and then a drop. So the first impulse here would be looking for a buy, because what is going to happen? It's either going to do this, come here and drop, or it's going to do this, come here, come back here and go. Now, this pattern I didn't show you just now, because what I showed you in the start is the assumption that it's already starting to go down for the big move. But if it is not doing that, then this could become just a flat and go back up. And those big moves I show you still will come in the future. Every time you break the top, look for sell setups. Now, if any of that makes sense to you, you have an idea what I'm talking about wave analysis. If none of that made sense to you, go look at some more of my videos. And that will let you understand what we do and what we look for. What we look for is precise patterns that forms, right? And these patterns are not like, I think one of the mistakes traders get out there when they look at wave analysis traders and they look at Elliott wave traders is that the chart is creating a pattern for you. That's an illusion. The chart is not creating any pattern for anyone in any shape or so. What you have to do is see the movements of the market and see if you can identify precise patterns that repeat themselves. That's the whole point. It's not the chart going to make an ABC for you. It's you looking at what the chart is doing and see, is there a known pattern? Is there something you see in there that you understand? And something that not only you understand and you've seen it before, but you've seen it 1,000 times before, and it did exactly the same thing every time, or at least 80% of the time. So that's your edge in the market. And that's what wave analysis is about. It's not about counting waves. It's not about making your charts look beautiful. It's not about anything else. It's about identifying patterns, understanding how the market structures itself, see these patterns in the past. And I mean, we have seen millions of them, not only thousands. See how they repeat themselves. Know which ones are likely to go, which ones are not likely to go, depending on where you are on the higher and the lower time frame. Understanding how you're going to trade it, and should it not go, how you're going to exit. That's it. If it should not go completely, you wouldn't have to worry because you wouldn't be in it. But should it go but not go enough to where you want it to go, then you have to look for an exit strategy. And that is where your trade management rules will come in. Now, if you do all of this, here's one important thing that's going to happen. You are not going to be the 90% statistics of traders who lose. Now, I'm not saying you're going to become a very successful trader immediately. That has to do a lot with your skills, your abilities, your, experience and all of that, your knowledge and all of that, right? Not that you can become successful. You can. I took a demo account on one of these broker already. It's 4 times almost. It's 37,000, I think, right now in 3 weeks. Yeah, it's 37,600. I can show you it actually. 37,000 in 3 weeks. See? It's 37,000, 2 trades running right now. Upside down, but running. Those trades are going to go positive. That is in 3 weeks. I applied to open a live account with them, while I'm waiting still for them to confirm that. Already 2 weeks passed and they can't confirm to open a live account. I have no idea why. You make a wild guess. I hope they do open one for me because that would be really strange. So we'll see where it goes. You can do that. Now, that's a demo account, so I'm not going to tell you anything about it because then all the YouTubers are going to come, hey, you did a demo account. It's not about what account you're doing it. It's about how you trade, what strategies you're using, what money management, risk management, all of that. You can double your account in a week and you can take a year to double it. It doesn't matter. It has to do with how you trade, safe or reckless, or you understand what you do, but you risk more. Right? It's all about how you trade if you have the knowledge to trade. Right? So it's irrelevant. What I did there, just ignore it. I'm just showing you that it's possible to understand what the market is doing and you can trade it. Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replicate that account as a 10,000 demo account. I'll try to replicate it to the live account and see if we can replicate the same thing in the future. Right? Now, as soon as they open it, I'll fund it and I'll wait for them. They're not doing it. So we'll see. Maybe they're not keen on having me as a trader there, but we'll see if that happens. So let's go. What we're going to look for here is we're going to wait for this consolidation. Let it stop. Now it's too late. If you got that trade this morning, perfect. That was a 15-minute trade, and I don't know how many of you saw it or if you were there even. If you saw this and you were there, an entry here was a great idea. This was a good drop. If you closed it even, it's okay because most times when they drop, they pull back. So if you took some profit here, that's okay. If you're still in it, perfect. Now you've got to be careful because it will start to correct. What we are going to wait for now is for it to repeat that, only this time something like this. And then we will sell. The first trade will be a buy. So the first trade we're looking for is a buy for a correction of this or a reversal of it, whichever comes. I don't know which one is going to come. The magic ball is not working today. Also, I'll deal with the structures only. Right? When we get that, we'll do it. That will apply for all the yen trades. See, this was a nice one. This one had a perfect sell setup. And you know that line is what? That's the absolute top that we just broke on the monthly. See? That's the top we just broke. So that reversal is coming. If that is the big reversal, it should be an equivalent of something like this. No, this one, sorry. Coming back for this one here first. This is an internal one. This is not a smaller one. This is an internal correction. I don't think we're going to work with this, but we're going to work with this. So there's a possibility it's going to come here, go back up there, come back here, and maybe go back up. As you can see, it's not really going. It's just going to stay within the range. So now that you broke that up, let's see if it starts reversing. Again, it could just be another flag and keep going back up. But this doesn't look like it's a flag. This one came really sharp. So wait for corrections. We'll buy the corrections upward and we're going to sell. The same will go for all the yen pairs. I don't have to show you them. If you would like to see more details on all the yen pairs, join us. Send me a Skype message. Let me type that in for you. MANGAL 457, and you will, sorry, 457, you'll have, if you join us, you can join us either as an installment trader, which means that you will pay for the course in installments, but you will have access to 2 live sessions. Or you can join as a full-time trader. You'll have access to everything immediately. You'll get the access to all our recordings, get access to the trading course. You will be trained physically. We'll do live training where we'll train you. You will be showing your charts and tell us how you do it. You'll have a lot of Q&A. In short, if you want to be a successful trader, you'll get everything you want to be here. You can bring all the questions you have in the world. I don't care what question you have about trading. Bring it, we will deal with it. We will answer it. If we don't have an answer, we'll go look for the answer. That's the whole thing about this group, right? And if I can't answer it, I guarantee you one of my traders can, because they're pretty good traders here. Some of them know more things than I know in different fields. So if you want to ask about a broker, you want to ask about any other things about the charts, there's somebody. When I want to know something, I'll ask my group, and I'm pretty sure I always get the answer, right? Somebody in here knows something. So if you want to join, you're not only joining for the course and for the trading, but you're joining to be in a good group of traders for life. You will have complimentary lifetime access. That means as long as you're not messing with anybody in the group, you stay here for life. The only reason you ever get removed from this group is insulting someone. Not regardless of what other people tell you out there. It's not because you have a different view from me or because you have a different view from any other traders. Not because you feel something different or you believe something different. It's only if you insult anybody in the group. Then you're out of the group immediately. As long as you stick to trading and you stick to your views and you show what you have, we actually welcome different views. Because we know traders will have different views and different things. That's it. Simple. That said, let's move on. Dollar index. Okay. Immediately you can see what I'm trying to say. Look for buy setups. This is easy, right? So it's coming, it's going to break the low. Now, here's the thing. If this is going to go back up, it will break this top. That doesn't mean yen will go break the top. Yen could just correct upwards. Yen is its own currency. It's not going to follow the dollar index. So while dollar index might make an impulse to the upside that we're expecting, yen might just make a correction to the upside. So keep that in mind. We'll be looking for a buy on the yen right now. We'll be looking at buy on the dollar index. I don't think it's over. Well, it could be, sorry. We might, let me take this one out as well, and this one out. Now that we've got the bigger one here, now that we've got this bigger one, there's a good chance we'll put it with this one here for the running flat. So we'll have to put this with this one for an expanding flat. Right? This is most likely how I'll put it. I'll put this as an expanding flat there. So you get one, you get a correction, you get a drop, you get a correction, you get a drop. This would be the running flat. There's a very good chance that we look at this as a possible running flat here. And I'm looking for the final one down. Now, that could change, which means if we have more pieces in here, that would change. Right? The patterns are not prefixed, because what we are trying to do is see which pattern we think is forming at this given moment based on what we have. And we could be wrong about it because of the nature of the market, right? The fractal nature, all the patterns, smaller versions would look correct until you get a bigger one and a bigger one and a bigger one. They're all correct. Nothing is wrong with them. It's just that the one you thought was the big one becomes a smaller part of a bigger one, right? So At this point, I think it's going to probably end and we'll be looking for a buy setup. That's the assumption. But once it breaks this low, look for buy setup. And I think we will break that low. So the first trade might be a little down, or it might not even give you a trade, let it come down and break this low. And then we start looking for buy setups. So this would be looking for buy setups. Silver? Well, we broke out of this on Friday. We were expecting this to come down. I don't know if any of the traders got it because this did make a flat. You have another running flat here in the 5 minutes. I hope you guys managed to get a piece of this because the first drop pulled back. I think you remember the first one pulled back, the second one pulled back. That gave you a running flat, and the trade could have been from here if you saw the running flat, or from this one, depending which one you took. It doesn't matter. Right now, it dropped here. You got to pull back. It dropped some more, and we got to pull back. There is a consolidation in here. And this one is relatively sharp. We're getting the similar structure here. So there's a very good chance this could be a running flat for downside. All right, there's a very good chance of that. If it is not a running flat for downside, then what you're going to get is you're going to get a correction here. And this becomes a flat. If this becomes a flat for upside, we'll consider a buy here. We might even buy it earlier, but we'll consider a buy. Can it go back to the top and make a bigger correction? Yeah, that's possible. We'll end up in a much bigger flat in here eventually. So I think this pattern is over. We made the top and we're going. So what we can look for is a sell setup here. If we get a flag, we'll sell it. If this comes and make a flag, any flag here will be a sell. If not, put a buy setup here. Right? Once it comes here, we put a buy setup. If it's going up, we'll get a trade. If it makes a flag, we start selling. Right? So that's two different things. Once it drops, you put an entry for the buy. But if it makes a flag, you take off that entry and you go for the sell. If it's a sell, it's coming to break this low. Right? And from there, we will see where it goes. We have very similar structure with this, right? So we are expecting this to come break the low. The question is, it's starting that move. Now, if we think dollar index is going to go up, there's a very good chance this is going to go down. So there might be some more consolidation here, but then downside. Gold, pretty similar. If you look at it, we're still in this flag. And last week, I told you there's a good chance it might just make a big correction like this and drop. Now, if we look at this pattern, I think this is incomplete, right? We're looking at this and I'm thinking this doesn't look like it's ready for the downside, right? Because I don't have anything to put with this one except for this. So if I'm wrong, can we go with a contracting flat here? Well, that is pretty rare. I would prefer not to use that as a contracting flat. It's pretty rare, but I can use this as an expanding flat should this go back to the top there and then drop. What I would want is I want to see a flag here. And if we get a flag, we'll go for a buy, assuming it's going to break this top first and then drop. Now, if it doesn't break the top and it starts to consolidate here, I would have to see some really good consolidation here. Then we'll be looking for sell setups. So if you get a flag, we might consider a sell. We're still in, unlike silver, which broke out, right? Let me pull this a little more. Silver broke out of that structure. This one did not break out. See, we're still within the structure. The line is irrelevant. The line is only to show me that we're within the structure. Whereas silver is telling me we broke out of the structure. So what's the importance? The importance is any consolidation here is more downside. Any consolidation here could still mean more upside. That's the only difference. Which direction you think it's going to go? Euro? Upside, and I think we're going to break that top. Nothing new happened here. We expect this to drop. It dropped a little more than I expected because we were thinking whether we will go with this as a running flat, but because it dropped so much, I think we can put this one as a running flat. So there are 2 or 3 more options of how you could change the patterns here to have different patterns, and they were all correct. Nothing is wrong with them when you put the sharp pieces together. Either you're making smaller patterns or bigger patterns, right? And the combination. So when you take this out, I'm looking at it. We came here, so we had those 2. If it stopped here, we'll go with the smaller pattern. But once it come here, we're putting it for the bigger pattern. I think we can make an argument we had the bigger pattern, right? Because when we were looking for this to come down Friday, that was the point. It's going up, and there's a very good chance we're going to break that up. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a flag here today. We're looking for the final trade up and then downside. It still looks downside to me, right? Like everything else. Remember, dollar index still looks upside. There's a very rare chance this thing takes off like a rocket. It's really, really flat. So we'll be looking for sell setup. First the buy setup and then the sell setup. Pound? Well, I think if anything can go up, pound can go up. We were buying pound all the time because we think this is really sharp. It's not flat. It's really sharp. We already broke the top. Any flag you can still buy. Any flag, any correction you can still buy. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes much higher. Now, that doesn't mean that it can't drop, right? We just broke the top and we have divergence. But if I'm going to sell this, I'll be very, very cautious. I will let it make an impulse, make a flag, and sell it with caution that it's still a correction for upside, because this one is really sharp. So we look for buy setups at the top there. Aussie. We expect it to go. Aussie's going for the same thing. We had two. Whether it's going to make a 1, 2, 3, which means 1, pull back deep from here and then go back up. Or if it's going to go in one single move. Right now it's going in one single move. So can we make an assumption now? Again, when this was coming down, remember, these arrows didn't accidentally appear here this morning. Go back and watch my previous videos and you'll see all of these. See, these arrows are here way before they happen. Because this is how we do forecasts. When we got this one, we said, okay, if you got a flat in there, you need to get this. So we have 1. Can it still pull back and go back up? Yeah, it can still do that. That would be the flat, and then we come here. Right? Now, can it go straight to the top and then come here? That is also possible. So what we're looking for today in Aussie? Buy setups. Right? This is upside. We expected that. As a matter of fact, Friday, we were buying this. And if you get a flag here, you can still buy. Can it drop from here? Well, we don't have any sell setup. The sell setup would come only if we start making a flag here. If it comes down some more and make a flag here, then we'll get a sell setup. As of now, this might be a consolidation for upside. So we will see if we get that consolidation for upside. So that would be the trade we'll be looking for. Let's see if we get it. Let's go. New Zealand. This one actually, the buy wasn't there. The buy was there when it was making this flag here at the top here, right? When it was doing that. Now that it dropped here, you're not going to buy it to the top there. You actually could have bought it here or here if you want, and that means you're moving that to break even. It's still a consolidation. That was Friday, so take that out. Sorry. Again, man. Okay, let me see if I can get it. How do you get this to go up again? Like that? Nope, not that one. This one, yeah. So let me get this again. Take this off and take it off, yes. So this is pretty flat. And we were expecting all of them to come here, as you can see. These are all forecasts that were made. When we were at the top there, we expect this to drop. I thought it will drop really sharp. Then it made that correction. We know this one is going to drop. Then it made that correction. This one is going to drop. And I can add another one. It's making this correction. This one is going to drop. So they're all coming here before we get back there. So you can see how it moves. The reason we leave this here is the traders who are looking at the chart would see how it's coming. We knew it is coming to the bottom from this point, but you also have to know how it's coming, right? Because you can put this here and say, hey, well, look, great trade. I took it. I'm selling. I'm just staying with it. No, you don't need to stay with it. We actually bought here and we bought here. We bought some of these in here because we know that you're going to get upside. Right now, here we'll be looking for the sell setup today. If we get it, that would be a great trade. I don't think it's going to drop today. But hey, if it drops, good for all of us. Do we have any New Zealand news today? No, we don't. As soon as you get a New Zealand news, I think Wednesday we have New Zealand news. Thursday? Wednesday, yes, Wednesday. So if it stays there until Wednesday, that would be a really nice drop. If it drops before, no problem. Look for sell setups at the top there. CAD. Yep, that was the up move, break the top and drop. That's exactly what it did. There was a flag here. That's a break even. Let's see. This one you probably wouldn't get. That didn't go anywhere. It pulled back again. It's going. So we probably get another flat. It's making a lot of flats. This will probably go back up here, make another flat, and then we'll be looking for sell setup again. We're not buying CAD as yet. We're still selling. CAD has a lot to the downside, right? CAD, like yen, also has a lot to the downside, and I mean a lot, coming back all the way to the bottom here. So this was the pattern we showed you, and it seems like it's working really good. So we'll look for sell setups all the way to the bottom. Every now and then you're going to get a really good drop, so you can keep selling. Take the sells and see where they go. Swiss. 15 minutes. Okay, this one did go up. Tag the top. It didn't break this top. This, by the way, this wasn't a buy. That was just showing you the top. I thought this would go and break the top. It didn't. It stopped short. That means we have this. And if you get this, the likelihood you're going to go up, right? This is upside. So that one didn't go up. This one will go up. So we were expecting this to go up, but that was a deep pullback. So now it gets a bigger flat. Look for buy setups. I think we can already look for buy setups here. To my traders, see, we broke the low. wait for a flag, let it reverse. There was a very small 5-minute flag here. It broke this low and it broke that low. So let it go back up, make a flag here, and go for that trade. So we're going to go for a buy setup on this one, which would be the same on the yen once you start to pull back. Look for buy setups. But this one might be better. This one would be a safer trade. It's not very aggressive. It's not going crazy. I think this would be an easier trade to go with. We might relook at this also. I think we might go with a running flat in this one. That would make more sense to me. The running flat rather than 2x. Well, this is an expanding flat. You could go with this. It doesn't matter. You could go with two of those. Yen. Well, don't jump into the trade. Don't do you see it made a low here? Wait for a flag. If it makes a flag, wait for the flag, because every time it pulls back, it can drop, pull back, drop, pull back, drop. Wait for the flag. That will be the sign for the buy setup. We don't have any buy setup as yet. Okay, that's it. Let's go. So all of these we normally do in these sessions that we do every time, but for the sake of YouTube, I'll have to keep the video short. It's a 1.5-hour video, and most times YouTube viewers don't watch all of these charts. We do it in our trading room. I'm going to skip them all. If you would like to get them, join us. And I'm going to go do some of these, and then I'll do some cryptos. Go back to the 15 minutes. Okay, this didn't break. It actually pulled back. Where are we going? Let's see. I still think it should go down some more. Be careful. We'd like to see this come a little more here and then go back up. So if you're getting a buy setup here, take it with caution. I don't think it's going to go very far. Can this be the running flat? It could, but be careful though. The buy is not such an important one. See if it comes here, then the buy becomes good. Because once you break this top, you're coming back down. Unless you get a really good flag here, it's not worth taking the buy. I mean, if it really becomes a really good one that if you break even, should it not go, you can take the trade. Oil. Sell setup. Put an entry here. I know it's a far away, but put an entry there. I think you know what that entry means. If it goes up, it's not a problem. But if it starts to drop really fast for whatever reason in the world, who the hell knows, you don't want to miss that trade. Right? That's a good sell setup. If you get a flag here, you could change that to sell the flag. Right? But if it starts going up, you'll consider if you want to buy. I don't think it's worth it, but you can consider that. We do have divergence. A flag here would be a better sell. But for now, put this here just in case. Here's 30. Okay, we're kind of making a big flat here, right? If you look at it this way, this is the first move down. That's the first move down, right? We've got to pull back in it. We've got to pull back, and we've got to pull back two impulses. Now, this has to tell us what this is doing and how deep this comes back here, right? Because if this comes pretty deep, we'll go back up there, but this would be a flat for downside. If it stays here and go, that means we could come back and retest that top. Right, this is a big move. We don't have anything like that in the past. This could be the reversal point, right? This could be the start of a down move. We don't have anything to put it with, right? It could be the start of a down move, or it could be something like this, another big flat. The first version of a bigger flat. So like I said, if they come here and they start to do this, if they come here, it could do this. 1, 2, 3. Go back up, come back here, make a big flat, and then go again. That is possible. Or this could be the one that dropped. So which is it? Well, come back here and you know what to do, right? Look for a sell setup right now. Start looking for, this was a good running flat there. Look for a sell setup and this to come down for this move. So the first move you want to get is this one to the downside. Let's see what happens. And then we'll go with it. So we'll look for sell setups. This one actually broke the top. It might still be a sell setup because we don't really have anything for this. I doubt we'll put that as an expanding flat. Possible, but I hate the idea. I think you get, it's not the most ideal thing to do, right? So still look for sell setups here because this doesn't look upside, right? So you got a flag, you got another one. It's not really going very high. Expect this to come down more of a consolidation. And the same would probably be for NASDAQ, right? Same thing. See this deep pullback? So you start looking for another deep pullback here. And see where that takes us. So this sell was good. Take these out. There were a number of sells here we had also. Take this out. And look for this mostly to be a correction. I don't think we're going to go up much more, especially at the top there. See, once this broke out, it didn't go. That one breakout, it's not going. We'll start looking for sell setups. Okay, this one is going back up. It kind of made a sharp drop here. We weren't expecting that, but that doesn't mean anything. That means it's going to probably make a flat here. This will be a good buy setup. If it confirms a flat there, that'll be a really good buy setup. Let's see. Bitcoin. Downside. Yeah, I think it's good. This could still go up, right? We're still in this consolidation here. See that? We're still pretty much in this. So this drop here could still go back up there, right? You can get this consolidation here and still come back here. I don't think you're interested in the sell. That's not a point. Wait to see if you start getting a buy setup and go for the buy to the top. If it doesn't go, get rid of the trade. Right? So I think this might be a consolidation in this impulse. So this is the impulse here right now. This could be a consolidation forming here. Maybe come here, come back here, and then go something like this. I think that is a possibility. And then go, it might not even go that high, but if you get a buy setup here, that'd be a good thing to give it a try. The deeper it comes, the more you're making a flat. One more down and then up. So we're just going to be stuck here sideways for a long period of time. ETH, downside. It did go back up, but still downside. That didn't change. The downside didn't change. Right? So can this come here and go back up? Can we make a flat here? Could this be, so this is making a flat here for one more up? Let's say come here. Instead of come, we were expecting this to come down, but it went up. So you got a flat here. Can it do this, go back up like this, and still come down for this one? Still possible, right? So if you get sell setups, take it. But if it comes straight and start to go back up, that's your choice. Go to the top there, come back here, and you're still in this flat. I still think it's downside. I don't think we're trying to go up. XRP. But it's coming down much more than I expected. If you were in the buy, remember I said broke the low, this could be the start to the upside. If you were in the buy, I explained this like about 100 times, you don't have to stay with the trade. And I think this is the perfect example. So what I said to my traders is you put an entry order to sell here. If they reverse that, you're out of the trade. You will take the same money you bought with here, you got a little more to it, or even if you got break even. When it comes here, you will buy back the same one here. Now, even if you're long term, you will buy it back here. Now, you will buy much more than you bought here with the same money you buy here. So if you were buying it at 5, now you're buying it at 40, 15, 40. That's a huge difference. You could own a lot more. And by owning a lot more, when it goes up, not only you own a lot more, you got it at a much cheaper price. So by the time it gets back to 50, where you would be at break even, you're already in profit with a lot more in volume worked. So you just maximize your profit really. And this is why I explained this in one of my weekly outlook or in one of my live sessions. Even if you're an investor and you're a crypto believer and you're long-term, that this is the only thing this is the best thing that has happened in all centuries, in the entire human existence, this is the best thing that has ever happened. So you want to hold on to it. You don't have to hold on to it. You can get in, get out, get in back again, right? Because you're going to have an advantage. Now, here's the question one said, well, what if it turns from here to go? Well, it's easy. Put an entry order to buy back right here. So if it does this, you're back in it. If it does this, you buy back here. I think the likelihood is it might come here and then we start looking for buys from here to the upside. It's going to go back up. This one will very likely go back up. How deep it's going to come? Well, that's anybody's guess. I've seen these things work their way down like this. Three years from now, this is what? June 2024, June 2027, we still will be looking at this thing going down here, and then you're ready for the upside. You know what this is called? The accumulation phase. So if I want to make money, if I'm going to invest billions of dollars into this, I want to make billions of dollars. So I have to make sure if the price comes here for me to make billions of dollars from here to there, I have to own a lot of it. There's only one way I can make the billions I invest into this, is by buying up a lot of them at the bottom here and then push the price up and then sell them at the top there. Right? Now, it's not going to go like one person I'm going to sell it to. The selling will start from somewhere here, and it's going to be like sell some, go sell some, go sell some, go sell some, go. And you started to see this, right? Started to see that at the top. And then you say, oh, what the hell just happened? Like push, you started selling from here, go sell some. There's a lot of buyers here, right? Who missed this? They're like buying here and then they'll buy here. So you sell it all there and then you let it drop because you can buy back here. And if you plan to push it much higher, then you can buy back a lot of it here. Right? So your call. You want to hold it for the next 5 years. ADA, pretty much the same thing, more downside. I think we broke out of this now, so we're literally going to go much more. I thought this one would start the upside because there was no reason for it to come back, but it turned out a 1, 2, 3 and it's going. It just made a 1, 2, 3. So here is a simple thing. Why do you think that didn't go? Although there was everything to it that says it could have gone. Well, it didn't go because they don't have enough reasons to push it up. They don't have enough to make millions or billions when you bring it to the top there. It will probably go break the top. But if you don't have enough people to sell it back, then you need to force them to sell it. The best way you can force them to sell is keep it here for 4 years. And then you will see how everybody start selling. Because, oh my God, it's going to collapse. They'll probably do a little, some of this, encourage you to sell somewhere here. If I know how much exit and I want to own 80% of it before it goes up, I would keep it to the bottom until 80% is in my pocket. And then I'll say, okay, let's go now. Right? It's pretty easy. It's not hard to do. That's not like, rocket science. That's simple buy and sell. If you've ever done any trading in your life anywhere, I mean, physical trading in a shop, and I own retail stores, I know how that works. You buy for $1, you sell for $1.10. Simple, right? So if you're going to sell for $1, if it's selling in the market for 90, you're never going to buy for $1. You make sure you want to buy it at 80 or 70 or something. The lower you buy, the better it is. So where will the buying happen? All the buys will have to happen just at the bottom here. Just at the bottom here. Before you can go there and sell back at the top here. The sellings are going to be here. The buying was here. Right? So some of the selling might have happened here. And then they didn't sell, just push it. And then sell it here. Because the people who buy here are the people who think they lost. Look, it was here, I'll go and get it. And then they buy more as it get there. But guess what happens? If you bought here, you're not closing it here. Because you are told that this thing is going to whatever, it's going to heaven. So when it dropped here, you're thinking, maybe I should buy some more. That's exactly where they want you. The thought process that this is going to go back up, I should buy some more. That's where wave analysis comes in. Because you will say, okay, I'll exit. And even if I want to buy more, I'll wait for the setup to buy more. That's the difference. Anyway, with that said, they're all pretty much doing the same thing. They're all looking downside. I'll make it short. I'll make the video very short. If you want to get all of them and everything else, just join us. Send me a Skype message and you'll be able to join us. It's less than a cup of coffee a day to join us. And guess what? That cup of coffee, if you stayed until you pay out for the full course, is absolutely free. So there are traders who spent a year paying the installment program and now in the group, consider they had all those coffee free every single day. I bought them a cup of coffee every day for free. With the same money that they were buying the coffee with, I give them the course. So you only pay for the course. That's the only thing you're paying for. You're not paying for the knowledge. You're paying for my time to train you. And the rest of the time you're with me, we're friends. You pay me for 6 weeks of training. Once I finish training you, you have complimentary for the rest of your life here, if you like it. So far, I think it's good. You should like it. Do you want to try it? Start with the installment, and you can see whether it's worth staying with us. So I would see all of you guys. Trade with care. Have a great week ahead of you. Make some money, and see you next week. Thank you. Bye.